Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're going through a few new budget knives. This one is the Timberbark from Civivi, and it's a little fixed blade. It's, for me personally, this is obviously an EDC fixed blade, so it's something, a lot more compact than, a knife you're going to use for camping or anything like that. So for me personally, this would be, just a basic EDC knife. The handle in my hand is only a 3-finger grip, unless if I choke up, then I can get 4 fingers, which actually works out for everyday carry purposes, if you're going to be trying to conceal it, or, even if you're not, just so it's comfortable carry. The blade steel on this is 14C28N. Love the blade steel. Nice thin geometry for a fixed blade. It is a full flat grind, so it's going to slice really well, especially for having such a slim handle, because that's another thing. The handle's very, very slim, so like it's not going to be something you're going to want to bear down on, for hard use. Yeah, you could use it for skinning and things like that, but you're not going to want to be batoning wood or anything with it. The sheath has a very tight snap to it. Like, this thing is very strong. Like, you could shoot this thing across the room. And great retention, no rattle, no tap whatsoever. Then you have this belt clip, which are my favorite ways. It's very similar to the Tech Lock. This is done by Terzola, but you can adjust this right here for the thickness of your belt, and you can easily snap it on or snap it off without taking off your belt. Came with the lanyard on it. I would take it off, but some people might like having it because you can, pull on it, to get it out, or if your hands are a bit larger, you can kind of grip around here and make sure that, if you went to slip, it would stop you, when you're taking it out. Like I said, the 14C, nice tough steel, good edge retention, takes an incredibly sharp edge, and Civivi does a really good job with it. This thing is damn near a mirror polished edge. I barely stropped it, so it came pretty much just like that, which is pretty cool. And it actually still has its bite, because a lot of times when Civivi does that with their buffing wheel, it loses all their bite. But 14C takes a polished edge very, very well. The next one's actually from Sencut. We have another one right after this, but this one is the Skarnax, and it's a 9CR18 MOV. The Skarnax has, in this one, has blue micarta scales, T8 hardware all the way around, reversible deep carry clip with flat screws, not inset, liner lock, so very, very smooth. It is riding on ceramic caged bearings. And then you have the flipping action and the thumb studs for multiple deployments. The knife itself, I personally love the shape. This is a phenomenal shape for EDC. It's a great size. I can get a full grip. It's relatively slim in the hand. So you can get a lot of power because it's broad and slim. So it's very comfortable, and the blade shape is just perfect for most things, right? It's a conventional drop point blade, and it's, going to be good for poking, utility cuts, slicing. You can even turn around and cut straps. The flipper tab is not so large that it impedes on, your grip very much. Reverse gas station knife fighting grip's going to be good. And the choil on it is good as well. Plunger on starts here, and it stops about right there. So you have plenty of life to sharpen off. Came with a nice sharp edge and nice slim geometry. That's one thing that I got to give Civivi, Sencut, credit for, man. They do good geometry, especially on knives that are users. Like, this is going to be a knife that's meant to cut. So when you're dealing with a knife that's meant to cut, that means you're going to be cutting a lot of things with it, which also means you're going to be resharpening it. And having thin geometry just benefits you in every way when it comes to cutting performance, edge retention, sharpenability, all that stuff. Obviously, you want a balance depending on what the knife is specifically for. As far as negatives for this guy, the detent is solid. I mean, phenomenal detents. The action's great. However, disengagement, this is a little slippery for me. I wish they would just pull this back farther. I keep saying this about, their knives, not all of them, but a lot of them. They leave these little machined dimples sitting out. It's like little teeth on the liner, which is fine if there's plenty of access, but when you're only touching the dimples and nothing else, it can feel slippery. It feels like you got to fight to almost get it, especially if your hands are wet or anything like that. So I just wish that either one, they would let the liner stick out a little bit more and just get rid of the teeth and put, you know, just like a little texturing or something like that, or just pull it back further so you can get better access. That's my biggest complaint of this guy. It's not horrible. Everybody's going to be fine. I'm very nitpicky on this little thing, but I personally, you know, it's something that does bother me just a little bit, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. And most people, like I said, most people would probably look, you know, be like, I don't even care about that. That's just fine. The next one is the Neurohaptic, and I really, really like this one. Nitro V steel on this clip point blade. It's a very tactical-ish knife. It is a straight clip point, which has the tip lower than the center of the pivot, which is my favorite kind of clip points. This makes this blade shape super versatile. And then, you know, you can kind of just look at it. You can see this is kind of built for a little bit more tactical-ish reasons. You have a swell right here, which is going to help you lock in. So if you needed to jam it into something, jam it down into something, you're not going to be slipping up the blade. The handle, look at this material. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever dealt with this material before, and I heard Stasa 23 call it Shred G10, so I'm going to go with that. Shout out to Stasa 23. Definitely go and check out his YouTube channel. Awesome content. But it looks cool. It's almost like shred carbon fiber. It's nice and smooth. And, you know, it feels very comfortable in the hand. Relatively slim, but it has a little bit of girth, so it is, you know, it locks in good. This is very, very ergonomic. You have a lanyard hole back there. You know, whatever, you know, I guess you could consider it an attitude adjuster, but I'm personally not a big fan of it, but not a big deal. Deep carry clip that is reversible, T8 hardware all the way around. Love to see that. And then the grind. Now, this one's still nice and slicey, yet it has just a tiny, and I mean the smallest amount of robustness, which, you know, is going to be good for this knife. Now, the locking system. Civivi, We Knife Co., Sencut do the best job with button locks. They have some of the best lockup, some of the most reliable lockup, and the most durable that I've seen as far as a conventional plunge lock that is a button lock. So the detents on these are phenomenal. This thing has an amazing detent. The flipper tab and the action right here, where how it kind of trails down like that, super comfortable. Rapid deployment, you can hear it. And then you have the fuller, which you can also reverse flick off of, which is really nice. It works good. You gotta hold a little bit low, but it's very easy to use. And then you can get the thumb in there, but it's tight. It's tight for sure. But you can also use the button and just gravity flip it. So lots of ways to deploy this. And, you know, like I said, man, the action is amazing. Then you couple it with the ergonomics. You know, you can choke up really nice. You have nice jimping, and this spine is thin because it does, you know, the thickest point is basically right here because they have this swedge right there, and then the fuller. The fuller is not very sharp, so this thing is going to slice really, really well, especially with these ergonomics. So, and like I said, you know, it's not a tough knife, so it just puts a little tiny bit more toughness into it, so you're not going to have to worry about it being fragile, but it's going to slice like a beast. I like this one quite a bit. I know there's another knife on the market right now that recently came out that's very similar to this. You use a different locking system, but the style is very similar. All in all, as far as negatives go, I don't know if I even have any. Sharpening tool and plunge grind's great. They started it here. It ends like right there, so you have tons of life there. The one thing, you know, I'm not a huge fan of blasted finishes, but this is an affordable knife, so I'm not going to complain too much. And, you know, Nitro V has good stainless qualities. The liners are stainless steel and heavily milled out. Look at that. So the weight is really lightweight for, you know, a, you know, somewhat tactical-ish folding pocket knife. And when I say tactical, I don't mean you're going to be going out batoning with this or anything, because that's typically, you know, with a tactical knife, you're going to be able to basically use that as an all-terrain knife. I more mean it's going to be a good, EDC knife that could technically be used for other things, self-defense, possibly, other little things you could do with it, but it's obviously not going to be a hard use, outdoors knife or anything. But typically tactical knife means it can do everything. But anyways, all in all, freaking love this thing. No complaints. Maybe the clip could be inset. That's about it, and I'm not a big fan of lanyard hole back here, but it's, it's also not a negative. It's just, I'm not going to use it. Like I said, maybe you could use it as an attitude adjuster a little bit. But there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time, peace.